is in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, I do deeply apologize for the tardiness. I hit New York traffic, man. I don't know what else to say. I did the best that I could, but at the end of the day, New York traffic gave me the thrashing. Ladies and gentlemen, welcome in. My name is Skylar Santana, and if you're new here, this channel is all about watch talk. And today, we're going to talk about affordable watches. I'm going to show you guys some of the more affordable things that I have in my collection because I feel like with the current news of everything that's going on in the watch market, we have the talks of the tariff. We have Patel Philippe is in the building with the super chat. He says, happy birthday. I do appreciate it. Yes, I am the birthday boy. I'm trying to gather myself here because I am super late, Patel. I do apologize, but you know what? As they say in show business, the show must go on. That's a nice effect. Patel, we're going to talk about affordable Casios here today. And I know that you're more of a luxury brand guy. I do apologize. As you know, I am trying to brush up on my luxury talk. It will happen over time. However, I personally collect super affordable watches, and a lot of people do. And I want to introduce a few of the G-Shock and Casio options that I have in my collection because here's the deal with the tariffs, with everything, right? Even before the tariffs, let's be honest, like it is not easy out here. And if you live in a big city like I do in New York, then you know that it was rough way before these tariffs. However, it is relative to the watch collecting when these brands are buying their parts and they're raising their prices. I get it, and I'm with you guys. As I always said, you're just watching an enthusiast hit record. And I get the fact that maybe by now, usually by now, if you were planning to not put any watches in your collection right away, usually by now, you are itching. And I say that because I was there and I did cave. I did put a couple of watches in my collection. Eric Mack with the super chat. What's going on, brother? I do appreciate it. He says happy birthday. Thank you so much, man. I am blessed. I'm blessed to have you guys here. I do appreciate all the support, man. This is a lot of fun for it. So let's dive in. So my point is this. I get the fact that right now, it's a little weird right now in the watch market. No matter where you collect, whether you're collecting luxury or affordable watch brands, it's a little weird and it's a little slippery and we don't know where to go. Now, my suggestion is this. If you are planning to buy watches and you're having the itch, which I had, and it's my birthday, now imagine how itchy that is. When it's your birthday, and you can justify that. You know how easy it is to justify for yourself when it's your birthday to say like, I'm gonna buy myself a watch, right? However, what I decided to do was I split the difference and I went affordable, yeah? And I actually got two watches. They are Casios. One's a G-Shock, one's a Casio. And I present this option for you guys. And it depends, and listen, on this channel, I get a very big range of different collectors. I get guys and gals who collect, $50 watches, $100 watches, and then I get people who spend $10,000, $20,000 on watches. I understand this. So there is a big range in spending, and what I'm about to tell you can vary for what you are usually used to spending, right? Like if you're used to spending 10 grand, then maybe a $500 watch is more affordable. It's all relative. For me, it would be more in the range of a Casio. It would be like $100, $200 watch, maybe $300 watch. But I really wanted to reserve myself in what I wanted to spend before I move forward in the New York wind-up fair, if you will. So happy birthday, happy birthday, happy birthday. Thank you so much, man. Let me catch up. Let me catch up on chat. Palace and Getsu's in the building, the throwback name. What's up, bro? Was wondering for 2 weeks if you were going to actually stream on today's... Bro, I got to take the opportunity to twist the dagger. You know what I mean? Like, you stabbed me, but then you twist the dagger. I do apologize for the lateness, but I made it. New York traffic, man. It's not my fault. Thank you so much, guys. Everybody who's wishing me a happy birthday, thank you so much. Dino says yo. I say yo back. Oh, I didn't do a wristwatch check. Hello. I'm double wristing. And I didn't do a wristwatch check. Hold on. So let me show you guys the watches on wrist first. Let's start there. Let's start feeding the beast. Yeah? We'll get back to what I was talking about. I didn't get discouraged. So I'm going to show you the first watch, and don't leave when I tell you the name. Because I know some people out there are going to see a fashion watch and you're going to go, cancel this guy. I know this because I made a post on Watch Crunch that this was my favorite watch in my collection. And someone literally answered me that I was literally about to unfollow you on Watch Crunch until you explained why. And Michael Kors is actually the most important watch in my collection. And I'll tell you why. 18? I think it was 18. Maybe it was 18 years ago. Okay, when I was 17, I'm 36. You do the math. I'm not good at that. My girlfriend at the time, now wife, bought me this Michael Kors watch, and it was for my birthday. So it is fitting for me to wear this on wrist, and that's the reason why I had it on my right wrist, and on my left, I have my Venetianico Rendendore Aventurina. This was a gift from last year. This was my 35th. Look at the dial be dancing in the light. Sexy. She gave me this for my 35 was a milestone. 40 is gonna be a milestone too. And this was really special, man. Like, the wife really knew that I was paying attention to Venetianico, Rendendore, Aventurina. I love this company. I really do love this company. I made a video on this before they were all over on Watch Creators. I loved this company from 2023 wind up. I took notice. She took notice of me taking notice, and she gave me this for my 35th birthday. I'm a big fan of Venetianico. This is a very special watch in my collection. The wife purchased this from me, and it was from that purchase that I realized that their service was key, and it's why I've been an advocate for Venetianico from the beginning, if you will. Everybody's saying happy birthday. I do appreciate that. Yo, Dino, I said yo to you. Happy birthday. Thank you so much. Lone Ranger's in the building. Of course he pulls up. Hello. Hi-ho, Silva. So those are the two watches that I had on wrist. Let's put the Venetianico back on because it's weird not having a watch on wrist at all. Like, I literally sleep with my watches on. Sometimes I double wrist. Yeah. So as an example, where should I start? Let's start okay, so first and foremost, I'm a little off kilter. Again, I arrived very late to my own show. Sorry. We're going to do a giveaway. So I put in the giveaway. There's like a goal for super chats and stuff like that. Guys, there's no goal. If you're interested in the watch, I just put that there because you have to put a goal if you're gonna do that. But here's the deal. If you're interested in the watch that I'm giving away, just leave a comment after. Don't leave a comment right now live. Leave a comment after the fact so I know that you're interested. And the watch that I'm going to give away, I will show you, is the King G-Shock, okay? And the reason why I'm giving this one away is because it's just too big for my wrist. And I want to warn you guys, if you are interested in the watch, realize that, and you have to be in the US. I do apologize for all my overseas. I got a lot of supportive people overseas, so I do feel bad. But listen to me. To ship a watch overseas is a different kind of animal. And I just don't want to go through the whole rigmarole, especially with everything going on. So I do want to say this. I have a 7 1/4 inch wrist. This is the size of it on my wrist. So be warned, fair warning. If you do like this and you are interested in it, just leave a comment after the fact. Leave a comment like how you would regularly. And I will do a lottery for the names that are the people that are interested for this. And we'll do that on the next live, and I'll send this watch out. Now, this is modified at the lugs. I will send you the original strap. I will send you this with the lug attachment modified and everything else. So that's that. If you are interested, leave a comment after the fact. You do need to be in the US. I do apologize. And I will take care of you guys overseas later on. What I'm planning to do, I'll show you guys another affordable watch, is the F91 Dubs. I do modify this, and I will modify this in the future as a giveaway, and this will be open to everyone later down the road, and I'll do a modification for that later on. But that's not the one that we're giving away, but this is a perfect example. If you don't have this watch in your collection and you call yourself an enthusiast, I think you guys will give me a day pass to be snobby, right? It's my birthday. I can be snobby a little bit. If you don't have this F91 dubs, then I don't know what you're doing. Get it, get it, get it, get it. Why? Because it's a classic, because it's a carefree watch. It's super light. You go traveling, you don't have to worry about it. You're going to go work out, you could wear it on wrist, and then you don't have to be a maniac like me and do modifications to it. I did a polarized blue film on here, negative, with a Vario strap. The strap cost more than the watch. You don't have to be that crazy. But my point is this of this live. We are in crazy times. Money is tight. And it's only getting worse with these tariffs, it seems. So my response to that is just to go for something affordable. F91 dubs, it doesn't get more affordable than this, I don't think. At that point, you can graduate to other Casios, other G-Shocks. I have examples of that, and I will show you guys. And there's a reason why I like to go with Casio. Is chat still good? Tim Cheeseman says, happy birthday. Thank you so much. Tyree, happy birthday, bro. I appreciate you, man. I appreciate you guys, all the love and support for sure. Yeah, so if this is where it really starts, right? And what I love about Casio and why I've chosen the Casio route for affordability and also to calm the demons of needing to put a watch in your collection. And only a watch wizard would really understand that kind of urge. It's kind of like when you have dinner and you want a snack so bad. Who's a snacker? It's like you want a snack so bad. I'm now in April. I should know this because it's my birthday. And 4 months in, and I haven't bought anything too crazy. I did put 2 timepieces in my collection. They are Casios. We will get to that. Random Rob says, happy birthday. Thank you, bro. I do appreciate it. Wrist Unwound is in the building as well. I had to hit you up from my real account and switch back. Oh, okay. You know what? That made me think of you. So it was funny that you, I see what you did there. Appreciate the happy birthdays. Random Rob, thank you so much for coming in. So that's one option, right? Casio, to calm the demons. Now I don't want to leave you guys on a cliffhanger. I did add new watches to my collection, and I did show you guys on, was it my last live? Where is it? It's right in front of me. This is the, model number, DW6900. DW6900. Now, Palace and Getsu, I don't know if you're in the chat, but I think that you, remember when we used to buy Pokemon cards, bro? I can't make this live just about you because there's a lot of people on the playback and they're going to be like, who's Palace and Getsu? Why did you collect Pokemon cards? Why are you wearing a watch? Why are you wearing a hat on your head like that has your face? This is what my wife likes to do, by the way. She cuts out my face and puts it all over the apartment. And there's like balloons and decoration all over the place. So that was part of the reason of my delay. Switching gears. Palace and Getsu, remember this watch? So in the 90s, when I was in school, they had this watch. Most people had it in all white. It was this style. It wasn't this watch, obviously, but it was something very similar to this. It was the other one that had the lines on it. I can't remember the model number offhand. So I had to get this watch. I didn't have to. I'm addicted. I put this watch in my collection. I did buy the white case for it. And guys, here is the going theme for today's live. The reason why I go down the Casio route is because they are very customizable. They're affordable. And then you could customize them at affordable rates. Sometimes not so much. But when you talk about maybe buying polarized film or buying like the lug attachment mods, they are pretty affordable. This is maybe like $10, $15 to get this lug attachment, right? And then be able to put whatever strap that you want on your G-Shocks. And that's the only weakness that I could say G-Shocks have. Usually on the strap, especially on that King G-Shock that I showed you guys that I'm giving away, if you comment after the fact, it flares out around your wrist. It makes like a bubbling effect. And that for me, that's a no-go. There's certain things where it's like, that's a no-go. So you're able to modify those lugs and then you're able to put whatever strap that you want on here. I think this is like a 24 because this is the King G-Shock, right? And I'm just not attached to oversized watches to this degree anymore. To me, a 42 millimeter is considered oversized. Not oversized, but like when I'm in the mood to put a bigger watch on wrist, a bigger watch means 42. Just catching you guys up to speed. Going back to G-Shock and why I love them so much. This one reminded me of a childhood G-Shock that I saw. I bought the white case for that. That was probably like $15, $20 on AliExpress. Um, excuse me, I'm having my adult lemonade. And you can have a lot of fun. So you don't have to pay a lot to put a G-Shock in your collection to begin with. Then you can modify it. And there's several different modifications that you can do, and you don't have to do them all at once, which is why I like to put Casios and G-Shocks in my collection, especially when money's tight and things are weird. Fair enough? And I'm gonna show you guys, we're gonna run through all my Casios real quick. Let me catch up on chat. Had you hit you up? Yes, you did. Random Rob, yes, of course I remember. You remember that G-Shock, right, bro? It's crazy. I got that one. And I also got, I told you guys this, yes? I got the all-white case for it. I'm still dancing with what I want to do. So if anybody, there's a lot of G-Shock heads out there. So if anybody owns this, or if anybody is planning to own this G-Shock, this is a very popular one. Again, DW6900. You could buy skins, I'm gonna call them skins, on this watch and then switch it out to whatever color that you want. It's a very easy, in fact, I've done those kind of modifications in the past for the DW5600. So you guys could check my playlist for modifications. It's in there. I've got another one coming out, and I'm gonna show you guys actually what that looks like, because I got that watch too. But the only thing I'm trying to figure out is with the white skin, I want to get like a gray strap because the button on there is gray, right? So I want to match that and keep that up to par. But this is a lot of fun. This watch was, how much was this watch? $40, $30, right? And it's something that I call a snacker, right? It's a snacker watch to put in your collection. At least that's what I'm going to go with right now. What's the next watch? How about we show this? How about we show, no, you know what? If you're, okay, I know the next two watches that I'm going to show. Let me make sure chat's good. Casio is a brand where I think even if they were just launching, I feel like I just started, it sounds like when I read the chat, I just started reading. Casio is a brand where I even think, can I put that up? No, that's too much work. Launching today, they would be successful. 100%. Tim, Cheeseman, you're on the money. If Casio launched any time and period from when they launched to now, or even prior, I'll go that far. I'll say that much. You know, I thought I was going to take this hat off early on, but to be honest with you, it's low-key comfortable. I feel like no time in period where Casio would be released, including, you know, the future, they would be wildly successful. I think you really have a good point. Oscar Nunez is in the building, doesn't miss a show. Where was I? So we were at the no, let's run through it real quick. F91 Dubs, you gotta get this. I've never been a snob before, but if you don't own, and here's the deal, when I first started collecting, I was more so on this size versus this size. So you can imagine that when I got a watch this size, and I got the AE1 whatever, the one that looks like this, but it's not this. I put this size watch on and I was like, this is too small for my wrist. And then now I'm polar opposite and I feel like this is too much, which is, it's phenomenal how many different phases you go through as a watch collector. However, get this watch. I've never been a snob before, but get this watch. F91 Dubs, DW6900, and then we go to the DW290. This is the most recent watch in my collection. Had to do it. Mission Impossible, as it's known. I think that both watches, if I'm not mistaken, the DW6900 and the AE290 was both in Mission Impossible. So it's kind of like their cousins. It's kind of like their brothers. I think they were both featured in Mission Impossible. Here's the deal. Urban Gentry ruined me. So I watched a video of his where he was featuring this watch, and then he informed me through that video that this was being discontinued. Now, here is the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I like to be very honest with you guys. I had FOMO. And as a collector I've been collecting since 2000, 2001. What was I collecting for? I think I'm collecting for like 5 years now. My. Where does the time go? I'm 30. Pal doesn't get to it. If I'm 30, remember when we used to say you're like 30 years old when you were like, so that makes you like 60. I had to get this watch and I had FOMO, even though I don't consider myself a seasoned collector, but when you collect for 5 years, it's not like you're collecting for the first 1 or 2 years. Fair enough. I still had FOMO, and the only reason why I bought this was because I found out that it was being discontinued. And to be fair, it was in my cart. You guys know what I'm talking about. You guys definitely put watches in your cart for like low key a year. Didn't pull the trigger. When I found out it was being discontinued, I immediately, I think I paused the Urban Gentry video and I was like, Amazon, out of stock. Casio, out of stock. Eesh. On eBay, this was going for now, I think it was everything all inclusive with the taxes and everything else. I think I paid $80 for this watch. This watch is a $30 to $40 watch. So if you happen to be watching this, I'm going to pass down the FOMO to you and tell you that if you wanted to pull the trigger, now here's the deal. Is Casio going to completely discontinue this watch? I don't think so. I know that there's a DW291 and that's supposed to be the replacement for it. Here's my projection. I think Casio relaunches this, same exact makeup, doesn't change a thing, except giving it Bluetooth to connect to your phone and making it solar, and or. They either make it solar, and they might be, listen, they're like Apple, baby. They'll give you the solar power, and then a year later they'll give you the Bluetooth and solar power. Yeah, you know what they do. I think that what they do is they put either or. And I'm going to say something crazy. Let me make sure chat is good. I think you guys are, if you were reading this, don't forget to like. I appreciate you, bro. I appreciate you. That's mad love and respect. You guys are the family, straight up. And everybody on the playback too. Don't think I forgot about you. There's a lot of people who consistently watch me on the playback and they're like, guy, I can't go on your live at Friday, 4 o'clock, 4:45. I'm driving in traffic trying to get home, not trying to crash. But you watch the playback, and I do appreciate you. Here's the deal. I think that they re-released this, and I low-key, I know this was in Mission Impossible, but don't you guys get Alien vibe, like the original Alien? Don't you think that this watch should have been an Alien, the original one? Maybe the timeline is off from when, I don't know the years. I'm not that savvy. But this is like, at least like, I know Riley, what's her name, Riley? Ripley had a specific watch. I believe it was also a Casio. Not her, but the soldiers with her, right? I think they should have worn this watch. That's a random Rob. What's next? What left to introduce but the classic DW5600? I mean, you can't do the 6900. You can't do the DW290 without doing the D-Dubs 5600, right? You gotta, this is one of the square classics. Like, I think this watch fits on a 6.5 wrist. It fits all the way up to a 7.25 inch wrist, all the way, this on and on and on. It's super classic. There's so many iterations for this. The one that I decided to go with was just battery. You can't get, I think one is Bluetooth and solar powered, which why I get my predictions how I get them, right? But here's the deal. And I'm kind of spilling the beans right here on live, and that's all right, because I want to show you guys what I did to it. I might have shown this watch before too, but if you check out the actual casing on this, you'll say, Skylar, this doesn't come, the DW5600 doesn't come like this, right? I'm low-key creepy looking like how this is coming up on camera while I'm live. You're right. This is a titanium aftermarket case. Now, this Lone Ranger, what are you doing, bro? Like, you don't have to do all of that. Lone Ranger with the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. He says happy birthday, and he gives a more than generous super chat. Bro, I really do appreciate you. That's wild. Thank you so much, bro. Much love. I'm trying not to cry on live. What are you doing to me? DW5600, right? Classic. And I put this on a titanium aftermarket. Here's the deal. AliExpress. I think during the holiday sales, this went for $50. Guys, cheat codes. Life is about cheat codes. It's not just for when you were playing 007 GoldenEye. You know who you are for that reference. Cheat codes, man. When it's your birthday, when it's Christmas, when family members are like, oh, what do you want? And you're a watch enthusiast. If you're watching this, then you're a watch enthusiast. You give them the link for a titanium, right? PVD coated black DW5600, right? And that's what I did. That's what I did. And now I have this modification on it. Now there is a version of this. There is a version of this from Casio that's like 3,000 doll hairs. Yeah, you're not getting it from me. You're not getting it. And that one has the Bluetooth. And I know this because this was like the homage actual kit. And I call it a kit because it's actual the casing around the Casio plus the band. This is titanium, so it's lightweight. This is also like the size where I probably feel comfortable, like when I felt with this King G-Shock, right? This is now too big for me, personalized. Now this is more like, and to be honest with you, the 6900 is actually thicker, right? Thicker on wrist. So I'm gonna put this on wrist too, but I wanna show you guys this on my 7¼ inch wrist, just so you guys can see how it looks. And I think it looks badass, man. I normally don't cuss, but we're gonna have to on this one. PVD black coated DW5600, just battery powered, man. Keep it classy. Fire. I love it. I love it. And I do have a video coming out of me actually putting this on to the case itself. Normally this is like a $70 to $80. You can go stainless steel for I think $40 to $50. If you catch the sale, you kind of get the titanium for the $50 and the stainless steel maybe for $30, right? So again, going back, right? This is, the DW5600 is what? I want to say, how much does that cost? I want to say it's around 50, 60 bucks, right? You don't have to modify off rip. You can enjoy yourself with a classic square, as is this watch is Protel to be in the watch community for enthusiasts. You can rock with that. You don't have to do anything. And then later on, you can do a screen mod to it. You could put a negative display. You can get a casing for it, and there's other different style bands and straps and everything else. Casio is king, and I'm not talking about the King Casio that I'm showing. I'm saying Casio, there's a reason why Nico says it's God tier. They're a whole lot of fun, and they don't cost you a fortune, and you don't have to do those upgrades, and they are, generally speaking, if you're talking G-Shock, good for any scenario. Listen to me. There's no scenario that I'm gonna outwork a DW6900 or a DW5600. There's no scenario where this watch is gonna fail me, okay? We watched Teddy B drop, which watch was it? Was it the DW5600? I think he dropped one of the G-Shocks from a helicopter, okay? Listen to me. If I fall out of a helicopter and my watch comes off wrist, I have bigger problems, to deal with. There's no way you're gonna outwork it. And not for nothing, when you talk about even, well, how's the water rating? Most of them are going to outpace you on water rating as well, unless you're like a crazy scuba diver, deep sea diver, saturation diving, if you will. So I think this one's 200 meters of water resistance, DW5600. So is this one, DW6900. Under $100, far under $100. And you could still do things to manipulate it and make it your own. And I'm going to show you guys even more extreme scenarios of that. Oscar with the super chat. I appreciate you, bro. You say happy B-Day, Senor Santana. Senor Santana, happy birthday to you. I appreciate you, bro. I really do. You're a real one. You're always in the lives. What can I say? Thank you so much. Noctuo JP, the guy. Noctua watches. Ladies and gentlemen, anybody watching on the playback, I do apologize, but I got to have a chat with him real quick. 5 seconds of your time, if you will. JP, I'm just going to let you know the wife has commandeered your watch. And if you don't believe me, should I go and get it? Nah, I'm not going to go and get it. She made me put it on a leather strap. We're talking about Noctua watches now. And she stole my full lume dial. How you like them apples? Anyway, going back to Casio, I'm going to show you guys some extreme options. I'm going to show you guys some of the watches that we're working on for review, and then we're going to sign off, I think. So, what's next? You can't talk about Casio. We're getting a little snobby. We're getting a little cocky. Maybe it's the juice. I don't know. You can't talk about Casio. You almost can't without talking about 2 watches. Well, 3 watches, technically. The AE 1200 and the AE 1300. Royale and the Referee, and GAB. Well, just say the GA series, GA 2100. It could be the B, it could be the Bluetooth. Which one is which again? Help me out. I think this is the 1300. So this is the 1300, yeah? I did a modification for this too. I'm on my negative blue screen flow. So I did a negative blue. I did a positive. Is this a positive red? A negative blue, a positive red. I did a lot of things to this. SKX mods. SKX mods? Yeah, SKX mod. Metal bracelet. I did a lot of things, guys. Listen, the watch comes in at, how much is this watch priced at? I want to say it's anywhere from like $20 to $30. We're talking about stuff that can scratch the itch without breaking the bank account. Casio is key. I'm a lunatic and I modify the crap out of my watches. You don't gotta go this far, okay? You can buy it and you can wear it and it's God tier, period. However, you have the option, if you're willing, to put some money, more money into it, right? To make it your own. Because, ladies and gentlemen, I'll tell you what, as a watch enthusiast, nothing tickles my fancy more than wearing this watch, knowing that there is millions. Do a Google search, F91W. That watch sells, is it 1 million watches they sell a year? Maybe more? Nobody, I'm gonna say this now, I don't think anybody with an F91W has a negative blue screen on a leather strap combo. So that's what I mean. Oh, by the way, just so you know, Vario, leather, super supple, quick, they gotta say supple, quick release on there as well, right? So why do I need quick release? I'm probably never gonna change that strap. But my point is this. A lot of fun that you can have with Casios. And going back to the AE 1300, I want to tell you guys the inspiration for this so you guys can really see my nerdy side. This watch was inspired by the, how do I say this? The Predator's wrist watch, the Predator's wrist computer. Remember the original Predator with Arnold? The chopper. He has a wrist computer. Beep, 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 beep. So the circles on here reminded me of that. Beep, 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 beep. Remember that part? So when I saw that, I'm like, you know what? I'm going to make it those red seconds that were ticking down. He has a cloaking mechanism. He has a targeting mechanism, and those are represented by colors. I have the Seiko Arnie that he wore in that film, so I modified this to represent the wrist computer on the Predator. Fire, I know. I can hear the applause from here. You guys, I know. SKX mod, they make fantastic cases for this, bracelets for this. You don't have to go this crazy. I actually ended up, I did the screen modification. I did the red and the blue by myself. This is where I really learned how to do that. I made videos for that in my playlist as well. If you're interested to learn how to do stuff like this, it's not as hard as you think. It is a little tedious, and it's a lot more forgiving than doing modifications to mechanical watches. I can say that. These watches are very forgiving. So if you want to start modifying, Casios is the way to go. So I learned how to do that. I achieved it. And I'm super happy about this. The wife hates this watch with a passion. But because I know that this is tied into that, and by the way, just so you know, Predator is my all-time favorite childhood movie. So getting the Seiko Arnie, which I have, and doing this modifications. Guys, it's all about making your watch collection personal, right? Your watch collection is personal from the moment you purchase the watch because you decided to risk that design and all of everything else that goes along with it. So at the end of the day, don't let me twist things around to say that, well, your watch collection's not personal because you didn't modify. No, 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 no. What I'm trying to say is that there's there's levels to this. There's levels to this personalization that I'm talking about. When you do something like that, it hits different. It feels good. It just feels very, very super personal. I'm trying to get the light to bounce off that. That's the only thing about a negative display. It's hard to read sometimes if you don't have the light right. If you don't have the right light, yeah. What's next? Well, if you can't talk about the 1300, let me catch up on chat. I'm sorry, guys. Sheesh. Oscar Nunez. I think most of you are maxing and relaxing. Anyway, Noctua says, what's up? Happy birthday, Santana. Thank you so much, Chad. I do appreciate the happy birthday, bro. Very much so. No Red Bull. I got something a little stronger than Red Bull, you know? If I had, bro, here's the deal. My two fuels for lives is Red Bull, as he stated, and Hennessy. If I were to drink both, I'd be in rare form. We're not going to do that today. No Red Bull, Oscar. I do apologize. I know. Low key, you guys missed the car lives, but guys, this is so much more convenient. All of my collection is in front of me. I got my watch station behind me. You see what I'm saying? Like that's where all the magic happens. You see all that? You see all those three different bins right there? Wait, hold on. 1, 2, 3. Those are all modification stuff. Like, and it started with just It started with just one, right? Got the what is that called? Time grapher. You see all the tools up there and everything else. All those bins are full. It started with just one, and it grew. So where I am today, the whole point of this is for me to encourage somebody who's dancing with the idea. It looks overwhelming, but it started off very, very small, and it also led to this watch. I don't want to delay the watch too much. AE 1200 instead of the 1300, which is the referee. This is the classic Royale. Again, SKX mod case. So how did this watch get to where it is? I'll tell you. Back when I felt that watches of this size was too small, because I could have gotten an all gold Casio, I said to myself, well, do they have parts out there where I can make an all gold Casio watch for myself? SKX mod had this golden case, right? Wow, that's filthy. Hold on one second. There we go. They had this all gold case, and I decided what goes best with gold, but black. I think black, green, like a dark green, and a red goes good with it. But I decided to go with a negative display for this, and I did a little bit of what do you call that? Like a rainbow effect, almost like rainbow filter on this. Pals to get to. I don't know if you're in the chat, but you're gonna love this. You guys are really gonna see my nerdy side. I'm giving you guys a lot on my birthday. There you go. That's how true it is. So the inspiration for this modification came from Frieza Gold Form, and it's not finished yet. I haven't finished this mod still. I'm gonna end up having to contact Vario, or because Vario makes straps for this, or SKX mod. I need somebody to make me a deep dark purple for the strap so I can complete this. And if you remember those little things that they used for like the radar and stuff like that, that kind of gives that feel for this. So Golden Frieza, if you don't know what I'm talking about, I'm sorry, but I'm not going to explain it to you. Golden Frieza is actually the inspiration for this mod, and it's not. And now, if you look at all right, so it's Dragon Ball Z. If you look at the pictures for Frieza in the golden form, he has a lot of black, like dark shades, gold, and then he has dark purple. So I need somebody who makes a dark purple for this strap as is, and then that will be completed. And also, if you guys look right here, I don't have, like, Trap Vision has the white hand, and he just goes like boop with the white hand, like the little stick that he has. But if you guys look right here, this also looks like, hold on, let me get the right light. I look so creepy. This almost looks like a holographic, right? Well, that's also tied into Pokemon cards and going through the cards. And remember the smell of Pokemon cards, bro? Oof, I might have to buy me a pack. They're like $200. Anyway, that is supposed to resemble the Pokemon cards as well. That little holographic thing too. So when you say personal, when you say making watches personal for yourself, let's go, baby. Let me catch up on chat. Make sure you guys are good. You guys are probably like, yo, I've never seen this form of him. What's going on right now? It's just having fun, baby. Like, listen, with all the things that are going on, we have to remember and we have to remain positive and remember that this whole thing is about connecting to each other, but more importantly, having fun while doing so. So that's why we're having a lot of fun. DBZ finally, something I know about since I'm clueless about watches. Bro, you gotta catch up to the lives and all the content I put out. I will put you on game, bro. Yes, DBZ, exactly. So that's where it came from. That's where it was inspired from, and it's not done yet. He's not in final form yet. I gotta get that deep. It's gotta be a deep, dark purple strap, though. Shout out, yo. I'm gonna put this on game. Anybody watching this, if you know of a dark purple rubber strap to go with this AE 1200 Casio Royale, holla at me. Holla at me. But shout out to SKX mods, man. those cases that you put on it, they're expensive. They're way more expensive than the actual watch itself. So, you know, buyer beware. But again, you don't have to do that right away. The AE 1200, the AE, any of these Casios that I'm showing you are phenomenal stock. And then eventually you can move on from that. Anyway, where do we go from there? I'll tell you. When we're talking about G-Shock and we're talking about Casio, I think that the Casioke, this is the Casioke, modified, of course. I don't know how to act. Modified to the degree of just the case itself and the band. This is the GA 2100. Better yet, this is the GAB 2100 because this has Bluetooth. Simple mod. This is very easy. This modification sits right over the module, and then this is pretty much attached to the case itself when it comes in. Now, I've grown distant from this actual casing on it, and this is not how it comes stocked, obviously. It came in yellow, and the wife was like, sweetheart, with that beautiful brown skin of yours, gold, that gold, and we're talking about, not gold, yellow don't go. She didn't say anything about the gold, but she's like, yellow don't go. So that's why, that's not why, but I was gonna modify it anyway. But I ended up putting the case, again, AliExpress special. I think this was like 20 bucks. The watch itself is $120 GAB. It's Bluetooth, so maybe it's a little bit more, 120, 130. Still a very good option. You could connect this watch to your phone. Why am I showing you a phone? I don't know. You can connect this to your phone. You can then sync the time, set the alarm, control everything that you want to control from it. The Casioke is a sweetheart in the watch enthusiast community. You can't go wrong. Everybody, I think, you know, there's homages that people have problems with, and then there's homages that people let slide. This is the one, and I think it's because it's Casio. I'll be honest with you. I feel like, do I want to go down this rabbit hole right now with you? A little bit. I feel like bigger brands, right, get away more with the homage or clomage. And this is a perfect example of it. Nobody's going to bat an eyelash that this looks like a Casio. Of course, I modified it. This looks like a Royal. This is how you know I don't know high-end brands. Help me out, chat. Oak, Casio. Casio is because it is looking like, I'm looking at chat. Casio comes from, help me out. Casio, you guys know what I'm talking about. AP, Royal Oak. Ah, yeah, got you. Royal Oak. Casio, Royal Oak combined gives you Casio. And everybody was okay with it. Nobody hated it. In fact, this is beloved in the community, like my man said as well, because of that reason, because it's Casio. And I think that happens with Seiko, that happens with a lot of brands that we let slide. I mean, look what happened with the Swatch. Granted, they own, I get it, they own Blancpain, they own Omega, but still, you know what I mean? I digress. Let's get away from that rabbit hole because I have a couple more watches that I want to show you guys. I think the chat is doing well and it's very healthy. So let's get back. Let's take a sip of the adult beverage. What's my next act? Where do I go from here? And guys, again, this whole live is all watches that I want to say none of these watches, other than the updated watches of what I'm working on, all of these Casios are sub $130. I want to say conservatively, okay? So I want to give you guys options. If you, here's the deal. How do I start my watch collection, right? Anywhere that I showed you just now, not the Vinicianico. You know, you could start there, but that's not going to be sub 140 for sure. But you could start anywhere with these Casios, and they are a lot of fun. And I will advocate for that for sure, because they've been a lot of fun for me, especially with the modification aspect. Where was I? Oh, where else to go but then the Duro? I mean, hello. When you talk about the Casio Duro, I mean, I know a lot of people say like God tier for the other watches, but the Casio Duro, how do you not love that watch? And I didn't even know I was proving a point. Guys, and I got a video coming out that's gonna state this too. Don't sharpen your pitchforks for this. Be nice. How do you not say this is not a Rolex homage? But everybody was cool with it. Why? Because it's Casio. And I'm cool with that as well. I got a lot of love and respect for Casio. I would never try and talk bad about the brand at all. But I just think it's kind of funny, man. It's like I see people raise their pitchforks for some companies, but then when Casio does something like this, but then again, what diver is not a Rolex at the end of the day, right? Am I right? Like maybe the Blancpain, 50 Fad. But at the end of the day, the DNA for diver, some way, somehow, I don't know. I'm seeing some crazy stuff today. So, Casio Duro. What's the model for this? MDV 1500? I don't know. But just if you need to Google this and you are new to watch collecting and you haven't heard about this watch, this is the Casio Duro. Is it still, I think it's still sub $60, right? I think you can still get this watch for under $60. And phenomenal watch. I think this is 200 meters of water. Yeah, 200 meters of water resistance. It's quartz. It's not mechanical. So what? So what? Reliable, 200 meters of water resistance. It has a snappy bezel. You can't go wrong with this watch at all. At all. Let's line this up because I don't want to give bad representation. Here's the deal. Skylar, what did you do to this watch, right? How did you modify this? Well, I'll tell you now that you asked. Well, first and foremost, I'm a bad boy. Here's the deal, ladies and gentlemen. I gotta get this Noctua watch. Can I get this? Let me know in chat. Let me know in chat if I can get up and get this Noctua watch. Let me catch up on chat as I do that. Casio is beloved. Agreed. Royal Oak. Thank you. Yo, what about the Rolex PRX? Oh, man, you open up a can of worms. That's not for this show, but we will. Maybe we'll talk about that next show, I think. What about the Casio? What about the Rolex PRX? Yeah, we got to leave. MDV 106. Thank you so much. You're on point. You say hi. It's $53 on Amazon right now. $53. Bill Gates Rolex. Hello. Bill Gates Rolex. Bill Gates wears this watch. Does that mean you should get? I think that's cool, right? And not for nothing. I know we're watch enthusiasts, so we get all excited when we see Bill Gates wearing this watch. But low key, if you look at his clothes and everything else, like these guys with real money, they don't wear crazy stuff. They don't buy crazy stuff. It's so crazy, right? It's like they could own and wear anything, but they don't, you know what I mean? You get what I'm saying? So anyway, I'm a bad boy. I put this dive watch, I don't know why I did air quotes, on a leather strap. I've been on a leather strap with dive watch kick. I don't know if you guys, I'm gonna go, hold on one second. Chat, I'm so sorry. I'm gonna be right back like 2 seconds. Where is it? You guys can still hear me though. That's the cool thing because the mic is on me. How you like them apples? I gotta show you guys this. I've been on a diver on a leather kick, and that is a no-no. I'm a rule breaker. Sometimes you gotta be a rule breaker. This is the Noctua watch, and he's on the chat. This is a fully loomed dial. I've talked about this watch a lot, but the point I wanted to bring up about this is that this is also a diver watch, and I got it on leather. Something about forbidden fruit makes me excited now. That was ridiculous. Putting a diver on a leather is a no-no. And for Palace and Getsu, who's trying to catch up to this watch nerdery, the reason why that is so is because diving watches is classically used for diving. You probably put that together. What you didn't put together is that you don't dive with a leather strap. Why? Because leather is technically skin of an animal, and just like the skin on your body, when you go in water and you come out, you're dry and you need lotion. So when you do that with leather, it gets cracked and it deteriorates faster. Unless, we're getting real nerdy now, this is how you learn, unless that leather has been treated. Now, ProTech, he actually treats his leather straps to his military watches, where he proclaims that you can get it fully saturated with water and you're okay. However, I think he's the only person that I've come across with leather straps like that. So putting leather on a diver is a no-no. Bad boy. But let's be honest, guys. Desk diver, the term desk diver didn't come from the air, right? Let's be honest. I'm not diving. I'm not deep sea diving. I'm not diving in a swimming pool, nonetheless, right? So it feels so naughty, but it feels so right. Let me know in chat if this looks good to you. Let me know in chat. And this is on my wife's wrist now because this is apparently not my watch anymore. She's like, yo, my guy, put that on a leather strap. Because I told her that I wasn't going to change the bracelet. She's like, okay, so then change the strap. How about that? She's like, I love that watch. Ladies and gentlemen, I did a whole live about how you could convert your better half, because it could be man or woman, right? It could be a wife that's into watch collecting that wants, but generally speaking, men like watches because that's the only jewelry that we, you know what I mean? So here's the deal. There is a side effect to getting your wife into watch collecting. She's just claiming stuff, man. This is, I guess this is her watch. I'm low-key happy though. I've got 50 watches, so if she wants to take one and make it 49, it's cool, I guess. Whatever. Let me read up on chat. Hold on. Let me catch up on chat. Those on the playback, I do apologize, but I want to tend to. What is the absolute? No, what's in that? What's in the glass? What's in the glass? What's in this? Nah, you don't want to know. Just bugging you, bro. Wear it how you want to. Exactly. Wear the watches how you want to. It looks good. Can't lie. Yeah, dude. Maybe that sparks something. Where's the watch? Maybe that sparks something for you. I don't know. I mean, to be fair, it's technically on this color leather strap because I think your lug width is a 22 millimeter, if I'm not mistaken, and I don't have a lot of 22 millimeter straps. So if I could choose, maybe I would have gone with a black leather strap. Hey, beautiful. Wifey just came home. We can't talk trash now. Thank you, baby. She says happy birthday to me. Where was I? She says hi, everyone. I don't know if you guys can hear us. It's cool. You say that like you have a choice. Exactly. Facto. But yeah, where was I? Where was I? Putting leather on a diver. Very naughty, but very nice at the same. Give it a try. Give it a try. That's all I can say. If you're not deep sea diving, give it a try. If you are a aquatic collector, then get leather that's treated. There's such a thing, I think. Ooh. How long we been on? 52 minutes, perfect. So, I want to give you guys updates. That's what I want to do next. And the way I want to give you guys updates is I want to show you the watches that we're working on. That makes sense, right? Has Casio made a titanium Casio? I'll tell you what, I'm glad you said that, Tim. Tim, you're a three-point shooter. The Casio, because I was tired of this strap, I was actually looking for something different on AliExpress. Now, I don't think I pulled the trigger. I don't think I ordered it. It's in my cart. I'm going to go with a transparent type of case around it, and it's going to be an actual like black rubber strap or something like that. Because I just need to switch it up. And matter of fact, it's a transparent, stay with me, it's a transparent casing, and then it's a white band, fire for the summer. I think that's gonna go well. What was your question? Do they make titanium? I did see on AliExpress that they actually had some titanium ones. It was a bit above my threshold that I wanted to spend. The titanium was like $79, $80. So I didn't want to go that deep into the pool. So I didn't pull the trigger on that. However, the transparent case with the white strap, and just so you know, with my Casios, I always go with a white casing and strap for summer vibes. That's also tied into the childhood for when I looked at the DW 6900. Where was I? So I'm going to purchase that, and that cost on AliExpress like $10. You can't go wrong. GA20, or in my case, it's the GAB 2100. I don't know if there's a difference between the GA 2100 and the GAB 2100 in getting the case and the bracelet, the strap, but It's on AliExpress and it's like $10, dude. You can't go wrong. It's in my cart. I will pull the trigger probably when I end this live. Show your 49 watches. Why are you being a troll? Not a troll, not a troll, but you're being a cutie pie. That's what I'm gonna say. You're being a cutie pie, Harry. Leather on dive. Leather on dive is manly. You know what I'm saying? Like, yeah. Say it again.
I put my Noctua on leather.
You guys heard that? She said I put the Noctua on leather, and she stole it.
I asked politely.
She said she asked politely. That's code for wife to say like, run that watch, boy.
It's mine though.
It's mine though. There
Thanks,
you go. She said, thanks, JP. Let me catch you guys up on chat. We're rounding the hour, and I want to be respectful of everybody's time. Where was I? Just to end off, leather on dive, try it. Markwell watches. That's what we're working on. Now, this is on a Montrose strap, okay? He gave me an FKM white strap and a leather blue strap to put on this. I'm testing this Montrose navy blue strap on this because of the fume on this. And the thing about this watch is the loom blocks. It's phenomenal. Now, he's going to change the hands on here. He's going to make them rounded off. And I also noticed on his Instagram, he has straps on there to match the dial even more so. They're also, I think, rubber straps. Guys, go to Markwell Watches on Instagram, his latest post. Those straps that he has with these enamel dials, oh my God, it's even better. It's even better. Like, he's constantly working on his watches to improve them. This is an enamel dial. Fit loom blocks on there as well. We're working on the review. John Lively, if you're listening to this, I'm working on the review. I do apologize. I'm all steam ahead on that. But he's constantly evolving the brand itself, and I'm very excited to see what the next release is, because I'll tell you what, from the Memento Mori, and we're not going to go too crazy, but from the Memento Mori to the Datematic to now this hard candy, I was not expecting this watch at all. And it actually, you guys, you can't appreciate this watch even from this camera view. You gotta go to one of the shows to appreciate this watch in person. It is phenomenal. Telford case, right? That old school vintage case. You have the cesium actual logo on the crown itself. That's loomed. It's fantastic. It's fantastic. It's a great watch. And I can't wait to give you guys the deep dive on that. Where we at? Let me catch up on chat. Love you, Mrs. Santana. JP says, sends you love.
And it's my watch, so thank you very much.
I don't know if you guys heard that, but she eat the watch. Since you took your watch, I guess you'll just have to buy another one to replace it. That'll make JP very happy. Maybe supple. Yes. I think you're referring that to the Montrose strap on here. Absolutely supple. I actually like the rectangular hands on it. It gives it kind of a vintage vibe. You know what, dude? He said that he was rounding off the hands to this watch. I'm going to show you guys the renderings to it when I do the deep dive review, if he doesn't, what comes first. I think you're correct. I think either way, I'm okay with the hands that he put on this. And I love that second hand reaching all the way out to the end of the dial. And the fact that the second hand tip matches the kind of colorway on that's very brave, that's very bold. And then the balance on here, the balance to the second hand is actually really, he killed it, man. He killed it. He's on his way. I didn't expect such a modern infusion to his vintage case. I was just like that. Like, I think he actually hit a home run, and he did it in perfect timing because we're falling upon spring and summer. So to come out, and this is only one colorway. There's a yellow, there's a red, there's a purple, there's a green. Am I missing one? The blue, obviously. I think that's all of them, but phenomenal. Let me catch up on chat. I actually like that. Yeah, I read that. Watch, I guess you have to go by. Yeah, Yeah. Well, I'm waiting for what Noctua does next as well, just so you know. Like, just so you guys know too, I always say this. He probably doesn't like this. I'm super biased when it comes to Noctua watches. That's my boy. Um, I'm waiting to see what he does next, to be honest with you. I might have to commandeer since this is no longer my watch. I'm waiting to see what he does next. I'm very excited for the brand as is, and that's all I can say. Now, what's coming next, Mr. Santana, is the question. And I want to let you guys know. Vario sent me another watch. This is their pilot style watch. I don't know if you guys are familiar with it. It's not anything new. They had sent this in. I will be working on a review on this watch as well. And it's very different. Now, this is not the strap that it comes with. I actually put it on this strap, this NATO strap. But this is something that I'm also going to be working on as well. And I love Vario as a brand in totality because I feel like Vario is a designer. Vario is an innovator. Vario is like, I don't know how he went from making straps to designing watches the way he does. But I want to say that all of his watches have a bit of excitement that everybody can respect if they don't like really partake at least. Yeah. And I'll give you guys a real live example. The Vario Versa, right? It's supposed to be the rendition of the tank watch, right? Being able to flip that watch head around and have two, like he did that. He innovated the case so you can have that at an affordable rate. You guys saw the review I did for the single hand. The single hand was a work of art. I'm a big fan of Vario, all the way from the straps to the watches itself. And I'm excited to see what Vario does next. I'm going to do a deep dive of this pilot style watch. And again, I think I haven't looked at all the specifications, but I think that this is also an enamel dial. But what I love about this watch, just so you guys can see as a general sense, it reminds you of a pocket watch, right? It reminds you of a pocket watch. It reminds you of where watches began, and that's on purpose because at the end of the day, this watch has fixed lugs. And I know that most of you already know this because you're watch wizards, that watches started off as pocket watches, right? That just had the fixed lugs attached to them, right? They didn't start off the way that we have them now with the spring bars and the quick release and the this and the that. They came out of necessity. And the necessity was, I need to know what time it is, to a time attacks, to this, to that. And he actually reenacted that with this watch. These are fixed lugs as is. I feel that although I am a big diehard fan of bun straps from Vario because they're supple, I feel like with a NATO strap, as you guys saw it on, because I whisper for effect. You have to change up the tempo. This guy. So I feel like with the NATO strap on a fixed lug, it feels better. If you guys are not familiar with the Zero Pass that Max has in the Anachronist shop, he also makes NATO style straps that have no material underneath. So that's another option as well. And that reduces the thickness to the watches as is. But for sure, the roundness of this gives you the pocket watch feel. He offset the dial, which you guys can already tell, I'm sure. He offset the dial on this as well. Let's get this on focus. It's just a beautiful watch. I think it's dirty. Where's my cloth? Where's my cloth? I think I think all the dials, well, I don't know if all the dials, but this dial at least, I believe this is an enamel dial. It's beautiful. I think these are applied indices too. Guys, I have to do my homework, okay? I don't know these things off rip. I'm just saying. I got the watch. I'm working on the Markwell review. We'll get there. What's coming out this week? I'll tell you. I have another affordable watch coming out as a review tomorrow. That's the Boltony. It's a Boltony. It's not one of their newest watches like you saw with I Like Watches. However, it's a classic. It's reminiscent of the Vario style dial in orientation. I decided to release that video next because we just did the E-Stolman, and the E-Stolman was a higher tier in price, and I like to offset that and balance that with an affordable watch because we cover all ranges on here. Let me catch up on chat, and ladies and gentlemen, we're going to sign off because we're well past the hour, as I can see. But I do appreciate all your guys' engagement. This was a lot of fun as is. Looks like I need to add a 38 millimeter model to the lineup for the ladies and those who have smaller. Yo, my wife's wrist is a 6.5-inch wrist, sir. So she said, yep. So she can wrist a lot of my watches. I'm in trouble. But that wouldn't be a bad idea because that's not the case for every woman. And or it just depends on how set woman or man wants to wear the watch. There's no wrong way. It's for your wrist. It's for your collection. So wear it how you want to. I love everything Vario does. I'm so happy to hear that. Gonna end up with everything in the catalog at some point. Yo, dude, so Tim, there are very rare brands that create the type of feel where you want to collect at least one of every model, right? Like not every single model, but you know, every, you know what I mean? Category of model that they come out with. Vario is definitely one of them. Like Vario is definitely one of them. Venetianico, definitely one of mine that I want to collect at least one of. This is the Nerede. No, excuse me. This is not the Nerede. Huh? This is the Rendendore. This is
Drinks for that guy.
yeah, no more drinks, she said. This is the Rendendore, right? I have the Nerede. That's why I said it. I need the other renditions in their collection as is. And I want. I don't need. I want. I got to get out of here. I love everything about, yeah. So there's very few companies that you want to collect one of every watch out there. When you're able to do that, I think that you've now captivated a strong following and you've really diversified your watches to an extent where it's a goal. I think that's a goal, right? Obviously for every brand. And when you're able to do that, it's something special for sure. There is a Swiss brand called Slow, which is a single hand, thinking of getting one of those. Oscar, you know what to do, man. Send me the link, man. I got to check it out. Got got my first Zero Pass recently, and it blew me away. So comfortable. Tim, did you get the leather Zero Pass strap by any chance? Because in my review, I mentioned that the leather Zero... Do I have a Zero Pass strap near me? I don't. I'm lying. I have a whole bin, she says. Got the peanut gallery to my left. I gotta end this live. So I have a Zero Pass strap on me. Now this looks like a NATO. This is not a NATO. This looks like a NATO. The difference is that this conforms to the actual watch without added material underneath it. So the leather straps that he has, Mr. Maximilius, is fantastically soft and supple. So I'm glad that you tried that out, Tim, and I am a big advocate for Anachronist Shop for that reason. LOL, she's going to walk around like Debo from Friday. Yonking your watches. She said, hey, you talking about me? She's like, yeah, actually, that's pretty right. You know who that was? Palazagetsu. She says hi. I got the NATO, but planning to get the leather. Okay, fantastic. Ladies and gentlemen, we are beyond the hour, but you know, birthday privileges, I guess. We're gonna wrap things up now, and I want to say this. I do appreciate everybody who did the super chats, man. That was really, really nice. For everybody who wished me a happy birthday, thank you so much. I really do appreciate that. And if you're watching this in the playback, I especially also appreciate you as well. Ladies and gentlemen, I am giving away the King G-Shock if you missed it in the beginning of the chat. You just have to leave a comment on this video and I will send this out to you. Unfortunately, but fortunately, it's just I have to ship this in within the US with everything going on with shipping prices and stuff like that. So if you are within the US and you leave a comment and you're interested in getting this watch, let me know. It's time for me to move on. But I want to say this. Enjoy your B-Day and tell her I said hi. Got you. Copy that. KB in the building. Ladies and gentlemen, I appreciate you guys for spending your most valuable asset, which is time. And I hopefully will see you in the next one. This was a lot of fun. Have a great weekend, guys.
Happy
Later.
Easter.